Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 6 o'clock, and I hereby call the meeting of the Town of Babylon Rental Board to order. Please join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
which stands
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sal Mangano, and I'm the chairman of the rental board. With me tonight are my fellow board members, Vice Chair Carla Bryant, member Marie Iodisi, member Kelly Medwig, member Pastor Vernon Shaw, and member Mark Smith. Member Mike Murray is excused absent. For the record, we have a quorum present. 4 members are needed for a quorum. Before we begin calling the hearing schedules for this evening, I would like to take a moment and explain our procedures. I will call all the hearings scheduled one at a time in the order that has been published in the legal notice and listed on our agenda. There are extra copies of the agenda if needed. Starting with case number 1, the board secretary will read the legal notice aloud. The applicant or authorized representative will step up, and the speaker must be given his or her name and address for the record. All speakers will be sworn in by myself, the chairman. The applicant or their representative will be given an opportunity to present any information that they wish to present to the board. If none, we will proceed to the board question. After the board questions, any interested parties will then have an opportunity to speak. The applicant will be called back up at the end of the hearing to respond to any questions or concerns. The public hearing will not be closed after the application answers any of their final questions. A decision on the application will not be made this evening. We will leave the record open for at least 7 days so that any parties viewing the live stream from home can submit for comment. You'll be notified by the decision by mail, or you may follow up with the rental office. Should there be any open issues on the application or items that need to be remedied or corrected, the hearing may be held open for a longer period in the board's discretion to allow time for the application to be made such correction. The rental board will have the right to rely on any information that is presented to us by the applicant. If any such information is later found to be inaccurate or incorrect, the rental board may determine that any approval, rental permits, or other actions previously granted in connection with the application are null and void. If not, I'd like to call right now for the first of the hearing. I'd like to call David Morrow from Marjod Realty, 918 Nichols Road in Deer Park.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, he's been promoted to a panelist, just asking him to unmute.
Thank you, sir. Hello, David, could you hear us, sir? Mr. Morrow, could you hear us? Well, David, are you there?
We can see him, but we can't hear him. He has to unmute himself. I've asked him to.
Hello, David, could you hear us?
He can hear us, but he's on mute probably,
Yeah.
right?
Correct. I've been asking to unmute.
They don't know what to do, maybe.
No.
Could the town unmute him or no?
No, I cannot physically unmute him. I've pressed the button asking him to, but beyond
Right.
that, I can't.
David, were you able to unmute yourself?
Do we have a phone number for him? Maybe we could call him?
Yeah, maybe he should just do the dial-in method.
David, if you could hear us, sir, maybe if you could dial in, on the email that you received, there should be a phone number.
Okay, he has gone back to an attendee right now. Would you like me to try and promote him again?
Yes, please.
There you go.
There we go.
How about now? Can you
Hey,
hear me?
David. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh, finally, sorry about that.
No worries, sir.
Kept pushing the unmute button, but nothing would happen. Go ahead.
For the record, sir, could you please state your name and your address?
David Marrow, Marro, 164 Oakside Drive, Smithtown, New York,
Okay, sir.
11787.
Could you please raise your right hand, sir?
Yep.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, sir. For the record, when you sent in your application, there was a terms and conditions sheet that you sent back. Do you approve to those terms and conditions that you sent back?
Yes. Can I just ask you something?
Yes, sir.
When I put the application in, the inspector came,
Yes, sir.
they inspected it.
Yes, sir. Yes, they expected on February 8th, I believe.
Right. And
Yes.
and
You
as
passed
far
with
as I know, they got the permit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You passed with no issues, no problems whatsoever.
Oh, okay. I
Yes.
just,
Does anyone have any questions from the board for David?
I just, when these notices come out, do they come out for everyone that's a renter or rental owner at the same time?
I believe they come out when their permits are up for renewal. So
Up for renewal, okay.
right.
I was why I asked the question, because 2 doors down from me, there's like a 6 apartment house there that I passed by. I didn't see any sign posted, and I was just curious how it works. If like you just said, that it comes up on renewal time or not.
Correct. Their renewal might be at a different time than yours, or they might be at a different year than yours.
I see. Okay.
Does anybody have from the board have any questions for David?
No.
Okay.
No.
Is there anyone in the waiting room regarding that would like to speak regarding this case?
For the record, there are none.
None. Okay. Hearing none, I'd like to make a motion to extend the record and reserve decision for March 31st.
I first the motion, Carla Bryant.
Thank you. And seconded by,
Kelly Medwick?
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Okay, we'll keep the motion open and we'll extend the record and reserve decision to March 31st. Thank you. David, thank you very much, sir. You'll be hearing from us.
Okay.
If you don't hear from us, you could contact the rental board, office after, March 31st.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
sir?
you.
Thank
My
you, sir.
pleasure.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
I'd like to call case number 2, Anthony Nisi, 94 Comac Road in North Babylon, New York. And this is a new application.
He's been promoted to a panelist, Mr. Chairman, just asking to unmute.
Hi, Anthony, could you hear us? Hi, Anthony, could you hear us?
Yes, I can.
How are you, sir?
Good. Hi, how are you?
Good. For the record, sir, could you please state your name and address?
Sure. Anthony Nietzsche, 94 Comac Road, North Babylon, New York.
Please raise your hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Sir, when you sent in your application packet, the town also sent you a conditions and approval sheet, you know, kind of how you have to keep the house up, outside the house. Do you agree to those terms and conditions?
Definitely do, yes.
Okay. Sir. I see on February 9th, the house was inspected and passed inspection. There's no issues.
Great. Thank you.
Is there anyone from the board that would like to speak to Anthony regarding anything?
No.
Okay. Hearing none, is there anyone in the waiting room that would like to speak regarding this case?
For the record, there are none.
Okay. Do I have a motion to extend and reserve the decision to March 31st?
I first the motion to extend Carla Bryant.
Seconded by?
I second Kelly Medwig.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we're going to keep the record open and reserve decision to March 31st. After that time, sir, you can contact the rental office and, you know, we'll you know, the outcome of the meeting. Okay, sir?
Excellent. I appreciate it, all your help. Thank you very much. And I just have one question. Is it okay to take the sign down?
Absolutely, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a
Goodbye.
nice night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Next case is Rosemary Deering, North Amityville Housing, which is 12 Pendale Drive in Amityville, New York. This case, this hearing has to be moved to April 21st, 2021. There are people scheduled to talk on this case, so I'm going to ask that you please call the rental division to re-register for the April 21st meeting. And once you do call, you know, they'll let you know, and hopefully, you know, you'll go call back close to the April 21st meeting, so they give you information to register again. Is there a motion to move the hearing to April 21st?
Yes, I first the motion to adjourn it to April 24th, Carla Bryant.
And seconded by,
I second the motion, Kelly Medwig.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we're gonna, hearing none, the hearing's moved to April 21st at that time, and then we'll have the meeting, we'll have the hearing on that date. Thank you. The fourth case is Sonia Amaya, which is 179 East Booker Avenue in Wyandanch, New York.
For the record, Mr. Chairman, I don't see them in the room with us. However, there is someone here who is identified through a number. It might possibly be them, so I'm going to promote them now to see.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Sonia Maya.
Well, good afternoon, ma'am. For the record, could you please state your name and your address?
Yes, sir. My name is Sonia Maya. My address is 179 East Booker Avenue, Wyandanch, New York, 11798.
Thank you. Could you please raise your hand, ma'am? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Okay, now when you sent the application in for your rental, you were given a fact sheet and a condition sheet. Do you agree to the conditions that was set forth in that letter?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We see your property was inspected on January 14th, and it passed with no issues. Is there anyone here that would like, on the board, that would like to speak regarding this application?
No.
No? Okay. Is there anyone in the waiting room that would like to speak regarding this case?
For the record, there are none.
Okay. Do I have a motion to extend the record and reserve decision to March 31st?
I first the motion to extend Carla Bryant.
Thank you. Seconded by,
I second the motion, Kelly Medwig.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Hearing none, I will extend the record and reserve decision to March 31st. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
No problem, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Now, I'd like to call case number 5, Sandra Liu, yes, Holiday Square, which is 330 Great Neck Road in West Babylon, New York.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, they've been promoted and I'm asking them to unmute now.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you, ma'am?
Good, thank you.
For the record, could you please state your name and your address?
Sandra Liu, 789 North Monroe Avenue, Lindenhurst, New York, 11757.
Thank you. Could you please raise your right hand, ma'am? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
Thank you. When you sent in your renewal application, you received a terms and conditions sheet. Do you agree to those terms and conditions on that sheet?
yes,
Thank you. I see your property was inspected on January 19th, and it passed with. Okay. Is there anyone from the board that would like to speak to Sandra?
No.
Hearing none. Is there anyone in the waiting room that would like to speak regarding this case?
For the record, Mr. Chairman, we have someone registered. However, they are not here with us at this time.
Okay. Since they're not here, I would like to, do I have a motion to extend the record and reserve decision to March 31st?
make a motion to extend Maria Iadisi.
Thank you. And seconded.
Second, Vernon Shelton.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion will be extended and the record will be extended and the decision will be reserved until March 31st. Thank you. This is application number 6, Sandra Liu, which is Northwood Village. 1-65 Northwood Court in North Babylon, New York. Could I please just remind you that you're still under oath, ma'am? And for this application, for the record, I know for the last one you did as well, but do you agree to the terms and conditions that we sent you when you redid your application?
Yes,
Okay, great. The inspection was done on January 19th and it passed with no issues. Does anyone from the board like to speak regarding this case?
No.
No.
Okay. Is there anyone in the waiting room that would like to speak regarding this case?
For the record, there are none.
None? Okay. Do I have a motion to extend the record and reserve decision to March 31st?
motion to extend Maria Iadisi.
Okay, and seconded by?
Second, Vernon Shelton.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Hearing none, we're going to keep the record open and reserve decision to March 31st. Isn't it for number 7? It's Sandra Liu, Normandy Gardens, 85 Frank Street, Lindenhurst, New York. Can I please remind you, ma'am, that you're still under oath? With this property, do you agree to the terms and conditions that you received when you sent in your application?
Yes,
Okay, great. Your property was inspected on February 10th and it passed with no issues. Would anybody from the board like to speak regarding this property?
No.
No? Okay. Is there anyone in the waiting room that would like to speak regarding this property?
No.
For the record, there are none.
Do I have a motion to extend the record and reserve decision to March 31st?
make a motion to extend Maria Iadisi.
Okay, and seconded by?
Second, Vernon Shelton.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we'll keep the record open and reserve decision to March 31st. Application number 8. Sandra Liu, Cedar Street Incorporated, 8500 North Monroe Avenue, Lindenhurst, New York. May I please remind you, ma'am, that you're still under oath? Do you also agree to the terms and conditions for this property that the town sent you when we sent the application?
Yes,
Okay, great. I see your property was inspected on February 10th. It passed with no issues. If was anybody from the board that would like to speak regarding Cedar Street Inc. property?
No.
Is there anyone in the waiting room that would like to speak regarding this case?
Record, there are none.
Okay. Hearing none. Do I have a motion to extend the record and reserve decision to March 31st
Motion to extend Maria Adisi.
and seconded by?
Vernon Shelton, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Hearing none, we'll extend the record and reserve decision to March 31st. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Case number 9, Emmanuel Guella, 51 Overland Avenue in Amityville, New York.
They've been promoted, Mr. Chairman, just asking them to unmute.
Thank you, sir.
Hello?
Hello, sir. How are you
Hi.
today? Sir, could you please state your name and your address for the record?
Emmanuel Guellis, 51 Overland Avenue, Amityville, New York.
Okay, sir. Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. I see the property, 51 Overland Avenue was inspected on February 24th. At that time, it passed with no issues. Is anybody from the board that would like to speak regarding 51 Overland Avenue?
No.
No.
Is there anyone in the waiting room regarding, in the waiting room that would like to speak regarding this case?
For the record, there are none.
None? Okay. Do I have a motion to extend the record and reserve decision to March 31st?
I make a motion to extend Maria Adisi.
Okay, seconded by,
Second, Vernon Shelton, second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
None? Okay. So we'll keep the hearing none. We'll extend the record and reserve decision to March 31st.
Thank you.
Now, for case number 10, Mr. Guella, this is for 61 Overland Avenue in Amityville. Could I just remind you that he's still under oath?
Yes,
When you received the application for this property as well as the last property, we sent you a terms and conditions sheet. Do you agree to the terms and conditions that we sent you?
yes,
Okay. The inspection was on February 24th as well. It passed with no issues. Anyone from the board would like to speak regarding this property?
No.
No.
Hearing none, I'd like
No.
to ask, is anyone registered? We're waiting to speak about this property.
For the record, Mr. Chairman, we have someone registered. However, they are not here with us right now.
Okay. Since they're not here, do I have a motion to extend the record and reserve decision to March 31st?
I make a motion to extend Mark Smith.
Thank you, sir. Seconded by,
Maria Adisi.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Hearing none, we're going to keep the record open and reserve decision to March 31st. Okay, sir, thank you very much.
okay, thank you. Have a good night.
You have a good evening as well. I'd like to hear case number 11, which is Frank Delaccio. V-Fran Associates, which is 2565 Great Neck Road in Copeg, New York.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. For the record, can you please state your name and your address?
Frank Delaccio, 1596 Straight Path, Lindenhurst, New York.
Can you please raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. I see your property, the 2565 Great Neck Road in Copeg, was inspected on February 25th, and it passed with no issues. Is there anybody from the board that would like to speak to Frank regarding this property?
No.
No.
Is there anyone in the waiting room that would like to speak regarding this case?
For the record, there are none.
None, okay. Hearing none, do we have a motion to extend the record and reserve decision to March 31st?
I make a motion to extend Mark Smith.
Thank you, sir. Seconded by,
Maria Adisi.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none. We're going to keep the record open and reserve decision to March 31st. Now, this is for application, it's property number 12, Frank Delaccio, V-Friend Associates, 2 Stevens Street, North Lindenhurst, New York. Sir, can I please remind you that you're still under oath?
Yes.
Okay, sir. When you received the application to renew this property as the last property, we sent you a terms and conditions sheet. Do you agree to adhere to those terms and conditions as well for this property?
Yes, I did.
Yes. Okay, I see this property was inspected on February 19th, 2021, passed with no issues. Is there anyone from the board that would like to speak regarding this property?
No.
Okay. Now, is there anyone in the waiting room that would like to speak regarding this case?
For the record, Mr. Chairman, there were 3 people and they're all presently here with us. I'm going to promote the first now, Nancy Melillo.
Nancy, thank you. Hi, Nancy, could you hear us?
Asking to unmute.
Hi, Nancy, were you able to unmute?
Start.
Okay. There you go.
Hi.
Hi, Nancy, how are you?
I have a few questions.
For the record, ma'am, could you please state your name and your address?
Yes, Nancy Melillo, 447 Heathcote Road, Lindenhurst, New York, 11757.
Could you please raise your right hand, ma'am? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. So how may we help you this evening?
Well, I definitely have issues with this property.
Okay.
I see that Mr. Delaccio is doing a renewal.
Yes, ma'am.
When you did your inspection, that is the first time that property has been cleaned up.
Okay.
There's trash always on the front lawn. A new fence has been put up. My concern is this a single family dwelling or multiple? Is
Okay.
it 2 rentals or does he have it listed as 1? The other thing is people have been using the railroad lot for parking. And we have a very big issue here with apartments that are not legal. At least he's coming in to renew. But a lot of people in the area are having a problem with it. Who's responsible for this property? Because up until now, knowing that he's been in charge of that property, it has not been maintained. And then,
Well, you know, our inspectors do go out periodically, and especially when the renewal is due. Our
when the
inspectors do go out.
renewals, I understand that, but you're not seeing what we see every day. We've had furniture on the lawn. We've had garbage bags ripped apart, garbage cans all over the place. It's very nice that you cut the lawn and put up a new fence. And I think that might have been done prior to you getting here. But I still want to know, is it 2 families that are living in there or 1? What is it zoned for?
Ma'am, this is a mistake. It's 1 family zoning.
Yeah.
Okay. In the future, whenever there are issues, just contact the town of Babylon. And what we'll do is we'll send inspectors out. They will look into it, we'll ask questions, and then we will provide an opportunity for the owner, the opportunity to fix. If he doesn't fix, then we summons, and then they have to appear in court.
I understand that, but if you look at your call center records, they hate me. They hate a lot of people around here. We have called so many times on quite a few houses here, and yet to no avail.
Did anybody call on this property to Stephen Street?
I don't know.
Okay, because right now, I do have records. I don't show any complaint on that address.
Well, right now, I know our major complaint is, the address has nothing to do with this. My main concern is that he's giving his assurance that, one, it's going to be one family, because I know for a fact that that had 2 apartments in it, one up and one down. Because the people that live to the left, their daughter rented the upstairs and their grandson rented the downstairs. I don't know who's in there now. So as long as it's a one family, they keep the yard clean.
Yeah, well, like I said, all you have to do is contact the town, right? And make sure that you state what address they're with. We'll record it and we will send someone out. Okay?
Okay, now here's my other question.
Yes.
Okay. One of the major issues too is the garbage. So by the time we call and someone comes from the town, our poor garbage men are out there cleaning up a lot of this mess. So if I take pictures of it, can I show that to you to prove what I'm saying? I want to know that it's being, I don't want our neighborhood to decrease in value. We have so many young couples moving in here.
Yes.
And my other issue with the multiple people is that corner is a school bus stop.
Yes. So
and it's a dangerous corner.
If I can say this, the reason for this board, this is a brand new board, the first on Long Island board that required owners of properties that wish to rent to come before the board to give the citizens an opportunity, to provide them an opportunity to fix the issues. And this is why this is being done now. This is a brand new board by the town of Babylon, because we want to make sure we're addressing all the issues of the community.
Okay, I appreciate that. That makes me feel a lot better, especially being a resident of the town of Babylon.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. And I don't mean you any disrespect, sir.
I'm taken.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else waiting in the waiting room to speak regarding this case?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there are 2 more. I'm promoting the second one, Meredith Peck now.
Okay. Hello, Meredith, could you hear us? Hi, Meredith, could you hear us?
They've joined. I've asked them to unmute.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello, Meredith. Hi, Meredith. How are you today?
I'm fine.
For the record,
My name, Meredith Peck, 441 Heathcote Road, Lindenhurst, New York. Mine are pretty much the same issues as the first person.
Okay, hold on one moment.
Parking is an issue.
Wait, ma'am, excuse me. Raise your right hand.
Oh,
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, I do.
Okay. Now you can, okay, thank you.
Okay, mine is pretty much, like I said, the same issue. Parking is an issue. It is a bus stop. And how many families are going in there?
Okay.
We've got so many rentals in this area. Sometimes it's hard to get down the block from the cars being parked and things like that. And well, so those are my issues.
Okay.
And like I said, you kind of cleared that up with the last person.
Yes, ma'am. And that's what we're here
So
for, your issues. And also then after the next person goes, then we'll speak to the property owner and, we'll find out,
Now, when we do have an issue, we call the town of Babylon.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
a description of what the issue is, the address, and then that way we send somebody.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey, man, thank you. Is there anyone else in the waiting room that's registered to speak regarding this case?
For the record, there is one more, Stephen Orsetti. I'm promoting him now.
Hello, Stephen, could you hear us, sir?
Yes, I hear you. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir. For the record, sir, could you please state your name and your address?
Stephen Orsetti, 227 Tremont Road, Hurst, New York.
Okay. Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. So how may I help you this evening?
A couple things. I mean, a lot of my concerns were covered by the other participants, so I thank you for that. I just want to reiterate that we do have a number of rentals in this area, some of which I'm sure illegal, particularly the one that's even next door to me. I do feel that we need a little bit more accountability and oversight, so I was very happy to hear about the creation of this board in our town. But one question I do have under this that I'd like to know in terms of the rental, if somebody did ask about is it being rented out to one family or two. We have had issues with this structure before. It was always a mess, as others have mentioned on that before, and parking was an issue. We have extremely narrow streets in this neighborhood in North Lindenhurst. I don't know why the neighborhood was built that way, but it is. So certainly a property owner, in my opinion, is welcome to rent out their home just as someone's welcome to live there. I just want to make sure that we're not illegally renting this to two families. So the question I had is the property owner planning on renting out this structure to one tenant or one family? That's question number one. And number two is if there is a lease, or what's the understanding as to the property maintenance? Is it the tenant who's going to be responsible for the maintenance, or is it the landlord? I'm sure from the town's perspective, the landlord's ultimately responsible. But I'd like to know, as between the landlord and the tenant, who's going to be taking care of the property?
Well, sir, one of the answers to your question is if you believe that there's an illegal rental, report that. We will look into it. Both the owner and renter are responsible for garbage or certain infractions. It may be under different parts of town, but if somebody is dumping in the street, that person is responsible for the dumping. The owner is responsible ultimately to make sure that it's cleaned up.
Right, understood.
And also, sir, regarding one family or two family, I can tell you the property was inspected on the 19th of February, and it passed with no issues. So that means that it was only set up as a one-family house. So it was inspected, and when it was inspected, it's a one-family house, just so you know.
Right, I'm glad to know that. I know it's zoned one family, so.
Correct.
Is there any, thank you for answering that too, by the way, sir. I mean, I don't know if I can ask that question, but is there a plan to rent the entire structure, like I said, to one tenant or one family? Is that the plan here, and that's number one from the landlord? I'd like to know if that's what the plan is. And number two is, does the landlord plan on having the tenant be responsible for the maintenance, or is he going to be taking care of that directly? I mean, I know from the town's perspective, as you mentioned, the landlord would be responsible no matter what. It's his house. But I'm an attorney, so I do a lot of this stuff, and I'd like to know who's responsible for the maintenance on the home.
Would you like me to answer?
We'll just go back to Stephen. Is that because he can't go back and forth? So Stephen, are you done with your concerns? Just so we could then have Frank answer you.
Yes.
Well,
thank you, Mr.
okay.
Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so Frank, thank you for waiting, sir.
My pleasure.
I see that there was, obviously you heard a few of the neighbors' gripes. As
Yep.
we.
I'll explain if you'd like.
Yes, sir, please do. And when did you purchase this property, by the way?
About 15 years ago.
Okay.
Now I'll go back 15 years. 15 years ago, it was in fact a two-family house that we purchased it from. It was converted to a one-family house and has always been a one-family house. And the town is welcome to come by, as they have every year for their inspections. It remains as such. The current tenant has been there for 4 or 5 years. It is a family. Susan Parker is her name. She has a husband. She has 1 disabled child and another adult child. So there's between 4 and her father, who recently passed away from COVID. So there were 5 people that were maintaining residence in the property. And yes, there has been issues with her garbage. We have gone down ourselves and cleaned up. We usually go by the property every month. We have sent maintenance men to buy. It's unfortunate. We put up the fence, I'd say about a year ago, a new fence, because the railroad, this property abuts the railroad. And that fence was dilapidated, so we changed the entire property's worth of fence. We put up new landscaping about a year ago. Unfortunately, the tenant did not water the landscaping and all the bushes died. So we're having some issues with the tenant maintaining the outside of the property, but we've sent people by. It seems to be getting better. There's not an overabundance of cars. So if there's cars in the area, it's not coming from this particular home. They only have 2 cars that I'm aware of. There are no automobiles that are unregistered or unplated on the property. But for some reason, we put the fence up so that they put their garbage pails behind the fence, and they insist on keeping their garbage pails in the front of the fence. We've asked them, we've sent letters. I will continue. And then candidly, if it becomes a bigger issue, I have no problem. And I see that the gentleman, Mr. Orsetti, left. But if you want to give him my number and a homeowner has a concern about that property, because as a homeowner myself, I wouldn't want to see that. They're welcome to call me. I will come down. I will assess it. I will get it taken care of. The tenant, according to lease, is responsible for the maintenance of the property, both in and out. However, it doesn't resolve me of an obligation to make sure that the tenant does what they're supposed to do. So if there's ever a complaint, and I've never had a complaint, by the way, and I appreciate what they've said, but if you look at the town records, there's never been a complaint on this property from any town ordinance, any town inspector, or code enforcement. So in that respect, had there been one, and I would be derelict in my responsibilities, I'd understand that. But yes, there has been some issues. Mostly it's household garbage. Again, why, I don't know. We speak to them. Unfortunately, I guess some people just rather put their garbage next to the pail instead of in the pail. But again, I can't speak to traffic or cars, because we have gone there again numerous times. Never have I seen cars parked in the front of the home. They've always been in the 2-car driveway that exists there.
Okay, sir. Okay, anybody from the board that would like to speak regarding this again, or no? No? Okay. Do I have a motion to extend the record of reserve decision to March 31st?
I make a motion to extend. Mark Smith.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second?
Seconded by Maria Adisi.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No?
Mr.
Hearing-
Chairperson, I apologize.
Okay.
Mr. Orsetti just texted in. He'd like my number. Would you have any concern if I gave it to him now?
Me personally, I don't. Jorge, do you have any?
No, that's not at
Mr.
all.
Mr. Orsetti, my phone number is 631-225-1120. 631-225-1120. My direct extension is 214. So if you'd like to call, if I'm not available, leave a voicemail. I will get back to you, and I will handle any issues you folks have with the property. Again, we've owned that property for a number of years. We've never had issues. We've had town inspections annually with no issues. So I'm sorry to hear that you guys have some issues there. We will certainly take care of them.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for trying to be a good neighbor and a good landlord, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Going back, do I have a motion? I'm just reiterating a motion to extend the record of reserve decision to March 31st. I know it was Mark.
I make a motion to extend. Mark Smith.
Seconded by?
Maria Adisi.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
I'd like to extend the record of reserve decision to March 31st. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay.
Chairman?
Yes, sir.
For the record, this neighbor who was registered to speak on applicant 5 joined after we had finished with Ms. Liu. I'm not sure if you would still like to hear them, but I wanted to let you know that they have joined and they are in the waiting room.
I don't know. Jorge, are we able to do that since the landlord is supposed to be able to get the final word?
Oh, no.
I believe they should be allowed to speak as the record has been extended. We have at least the opportunity to hear what it is, and
Okay.
we can contact Sandra Lou to address it.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so you would like me to promote them?
Yes, sir.
Okay, being promoted now. Ivan Gotti, I've promoted them and I'm asking them to unmute now.
Thank you. Hello, could you hear us? Hello, are you able to hear us? Can you please unmute yourself?
Doesn't appear that they're muted. Their camera's not on, but I'm not seeing the muted symbol because I cannot ask to unmute. Perhaps they've stepped away and they're not there.
There's the mute.
Oh, now it's muted. Asking to unmute.
Hi, Ivan, could you hear us? Hello, Ivan, could you hear us, sir? Could you please unmute?
They should be unmuted now. The symbol for mute has gone away.
Okay. Hello, Ivan, could you hear us?
Perhaps if the board would like to continue, I can try chatting them and see if we can resolve the problem, and I'll let you know once you finish the other business.
Okay.
If you would like to do that.
Are we able to go back? Because we're going to move on to the reserve calendar now. I'd rather just see, give him, maybe 30 seconds or so to see if he could unmute himself, or if he could hear us before we go on to the next case.
Okay, I'm sending a message now.
Thank you. Hello, Ivan, could you hear us, sir?
Not
Mr.
getting a response in message either.
Mr. Chairman, we could probably move on since they still have the opportunity to send in whatever comments they have.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. I'd like to move on to the reserve calendar, which is Cardinal Property Holdings, 35 Maybrook Road in North Babylon, New York. The town sent an inspector and all the violations have been corrected. Do we have a motion to approve the application?
Yes, I first that motion to approve.
And seconded?
I second the motion, Carla Bryant.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, this application is approved. Thank you. I'd like to have, we're going to accept the minutes of the March 10th meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the March 10th meeting?
Furnish shall make a motion to accept the minutes.
And seconded by?
Maria ADC.
Okay. I just wanted to take a moment and thank everyone for this evening for your time. And also I want to remind everyone that March 31st, we have another meeting. And then we also have a meeting, the next meeting after that will be April 21st. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:55 PM. Do I have a
Vernon
Thank
Shell,
you.
make a motion to adjourn.
And seconded by,
I second that motion.
all in favor?
Ally Bedry.